Media freedom is actually the freedom to express yourself using social media. So it could be on Facebook, it could be on the, like in the newspaper, on the radio, or television. Yeah.
Do you think it does exist in Zambia?
Yeah, it does. It does exist. It's there. We see people talking on social media.
So
It
there
does
you go.
exist.
So how inclusive do you think the mainstream media such as the radio, the TV and the newspapers are in covering the downtrodden such as the differently abled and rural communities?
Yeah, on this one I think a lot needs to be done. Yeah, the coverage is not as expected. So a lot needs to be done to make sure that there is equal share of media freedom with the different people in the rural areas, because the reason why as to why I've said so, like in rural areas, the underprivileged, the disabled, they are unable to access, for example, an Android phone. Others, they lack knowledge on how to operate a smartphone. In short, others do not have access. Maybe they are limited, they can only listen to the radio, and that would be community radio. So when it comes to media coverage or access to some media platforms, I think a lot needs to be done.
Okay. And then also, how do you think do you think people are free to express their views on government issues in the country within the media space?
The only challenge we have recently is, or currently, whoever says anything against the government, it is being politicized. Of course, people are free to express their views as regards to governance issues, but it's not all that giving them the freedom to do that. Because if I say something according to the way I perceive things, then I will definitely have criticism. So that makes it difficult for people to express themselves as regards to governance issues.
So apart from the fear of everything they say being misinterpreted or politicized, what other challenges do you think are hindering media freedoms in Zambia for the community, for schools, for the differently abled? Do you think there are certain things that are hindering them from expressing themselves?
Oh yeah, there are things that are hindering them from expressing themselves. When we talk of the differently abled, of course it's the economical issues. Somebody has a phone, they do not have bundles. They can't go online. Others, they can't even have a privilege to own a smartphone. So that one is another challenge for the different abled. Then for the schools, of course, the schools, they need empowerment, like you can see in the laboratory here. They're using the computers, and these computers, of course, are supposed to be connected to the network. So sometimes the network providers, maybe the network services themselves, they're having a challenge. We don't have proper network. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And then, the same question now on your personal level. Of course, you've mentioned that you're affected when it comes to proper network distribution. Do you think there are other challenges which you are facing when it comes to media freedom on a personal level?
Yeah, like on my personal level, of course I love my family, so I'll be very strict when it comes to what I express like publicly. Because I'm protecting myself, I'm protecting my family, because I don't want to be in problems the next minute. Once I say something, so I just have to be very sensitive of what I discuss publicly. Then at the same time also, it's the network challenge we're talking about here. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Maybe moving on to the digital rights. The Cybersecurity Act was passed by the former president. We did see the passing of the act to protect media users from things like cyberbullying, and also to regulate vulgar language on social media and other platforms. Do you feel the act is doing enough?
Currently in Zambia, I would say yes. at the same time, I want to say no, because we see some people, after using vulgar language on social media, they'll go unpunished. Others, you will hear in the next minute they've been apprehended, maybe for using tribal marks, or maybe for attacking some personalities. So to me, the answer is yes and no.
Okay. And do you feel the same act is doing enough to protect people's digital lives?
Not really.
No, thank you very much. Coming on the introduction of online taxation on any political content that is posted on social media, on a personal level, as well as if you are to speak on behalf of the community and the pupils, how do you think that will affect data consumption with regards to digital rights?
Okay, so when it comes to that, we are talking about money issues here. Of course, I know there are some political parties with the muscle to raise income. Of course, whatever they want to post like publicly, definitely it won't be an issue for them to be taxed because they have the financial muscle. But when it comes to like community level, you know, there are so many challenges that people are going through. Then maybe that can depend on like individual contributions. Now, are they going to raise enough money for them to have that political statement, you know, issued before they are taxed? The answer is no. So that one is it's a big challenge, like when it comes to community level. But when you talk of some big political parties, of course, to them it's just a walkover. Then again, some political parties, they are just infants. Yes. So they don't have the financial muscle yet. So I think they are also being limited when it comes to the digital rights. Yeah.
Thank you very much. My last question to you is, do you think the current law is doing enough to protect journalists and media owners in Zambia?
As it stands right now, they are protected, though we have heard of issues like a journalist was harassed, a journalist had his camera seized from them. Of course, as it stands right now, it's a crime to harass a journalist. So what I can say is they're being protected, yes.